already live. There's friends are here. Welcome to my house.
We're rocking and rolling. All right, I'll give the intro while you find the dogs.
Sounds good.
I'm Chris Best,
You're gonna watch the
co-founder.
dogs? Okay, Natalie's watching the dog. Never mind. There's my lovely wife.
Hi.
All
Oh,
right,
those
we're going
dogs are
back
awesome.
upstairs, Chris. Sorry. This is the
That's
freedom
all
you
right.
have as an independent creator. You get to be in your house, and you and your wife, who also works from home today, take turns deciding who's going to deal with the screaming mini dachshunds.
Well, we saw them for a second there, and they look adorable.
They're very cuties. Okay, we're
Um,
back.
we're back. All right. I'm Chris Best. I'm speaking with V Spehar,
Yep.
host and creator of Under the Desk News.
Yes.
You're a journalist. You're a podcast host. You have over 3.7 million followers on TikTok, and you have a best-selling Substack newsletter.
Yes.
Um, thanks for coming. Thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, I'm excited to chat with you. It's not often you get to see the man behind the curtain, right?
Yeah, I'll try not to be too mysterious. Um, I mean, maybe the first thing I wanted to ask you is just what's it like being on TikTok right now?
Oh, it's rough. So I think the optimism and the joy that we had from TikTok came from that pandemic era time. A lot of people were home, they were looking for entertainment, they were willing to be a little goofy. And I think for a lot of folks who ended up becoming big TikTokers, it really started just as a place to connect. And it was a happy place of entertainment and exploration and curiosity. And then I would say probably over the last 2 or 3 years, it's become a lot more difficult, and much of that came from our government not understanding the platform. It's financial viability for people. It was creating work for them and small businesses, and people were even building churches on there. Like I follow a couple of non-denominational pastors who were like holding digital church. Like it was really such a wonderful place, and I think that they lost a lot of trust when the government started talking about banning it. I think that time that we had the blackout, folks were like, wow, it really can just go down. And I think now with the sale, people just, they're suspicious of industry everywhere. They're certainly suspicious of this. So I think the vibes over there are a little less footloose and fancy free like they were, which was kind of the draw of TikTok, that it was like a happy place mostly. And I think people are now, whether it's actually happening or it's perceived to be happening, they don't trust their For You page, and they're having a difficult time feeling like this is a place to continue investing in.
Right. And so there's this change of ownership. There's been this forced sale. There's been
Mhm,
rhetoric from the new leadership basically saying we're going to, decide what's allowed and what's not. And
mhm,
then because of the way the algorithm works, you kind of can never know for sure,
right.
both between the algorithm and between technical changes. You can never know for sure if the thing that you're saying is getting censored or having a thumb on the scale, or if
Mhm,
that's just how the algorithm is behaving today. I can
mhm.
imagine that feels kind of crazy making.
Well, one of the things, if you talk to any creator, they'll say, I wish that any algorithm, any platform would just show my stuff to my followers. Like,
Yeah.
number one thing, I've got 3.7 million followers over there, right? I wish that the app would just show my stuff to my followers. And I think that is also sort of playing into it. People who have big, huge followerships might not be hitting their former followers' FYP page. There's no ownership of who that audience is. You don't have a way to directly reach out to them. And God help you if you try to market your comedy show, a gig that you're doing, a class that you're selling, anything. If it's not going through the TikTok shop, oftentimes that can feel like it's throttling your video too.
Right. So there's benefits to having a direct relationship with your audience,
Oh, yeah.
even outside of kind of the freedom of the press, freedom of speech implications of being able to say the
Mhm.
things you believe. But
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
kind of
that's the
this.
value for any outlet, really. It's like even when you subscribe to, let's say, the Washington Post or the New York Times, they have collected your email and you have a profile with them that they have ownership over. If they want to email you a reminder to resubscribe or say, hey, we haven't heard from you in a while or whatever, they could build that relationship with you. TikTok really doesn't allow you any kind of access to the back end, like where you would be able to build any kind of genuine community or take them off the platform. Your only ways to interact with the audience, sadly, are your DMs, which can be very difficult to navigate, and there's no search function in there. So sometimes I see something I want to respond to, and I'm like, and then it's like gone before I can even get back to it. Or your comments, and again, that's like a really difficult way to build like an authentic relationship.
Do you find sometimes, because I've heard people on TikTok say this, that in order to discuss the thing you want to discuss, you sometimes have to speak in code and
Yeah.
use alternate words for the things you're saying. What are some examples of that?
So I think like right now I'm trying to do the Epstein files, right? This is a very sensitive case. I'm obviously have proven myself as like a legitimate news platform and source to TikTok, that I've had a creator manager. They know who I am. So it's like you should be able to kind of like trust me to that I'm gonna, bring forth the truth and be responsible about it. But there's no sort of like levels to you on TikTok at all. You don't ever achieve like a verified status where they give you a little more trust. So, for example, if you're trying to talk about, Epstein, I've been calling it Jeff because something about the word Epstein triggers their AI comment detection and it says Epstein conspiracies, right? And then it'll label my video that way and it might throttle how much that video gets out. So I say stuff like, oh, we're talking about Jeff today. I don't want to talk like that about the world's most prolific pedophile. Like, I don't want to be on a first name basis with him, but you have to kind of like get around the AI picking up the word Epstein. Or you might be trying to talk about a murder that happened. There's a lot of, stuff going on. Like when I was trying to talk about the killing of Renee Good or of Alex Preddy, I have to say the unaliving of them, and even with that, sometimes it'll still get caught or marked as like, for 18 and older only. And I think some of that is really sad because we need to be able to use words have meaning and they have power. And we need to be able to use the real word for the thing we're discussing and not try to like code word it for an audience that is predominantly my audience is all adults. It's all people who are over 18. I don't have an under 18 audience. So like I have to say unalived to 50-year-old full adults with full ass jobs who are trying to learn something. Like it makes me look less credible. It makes the report seem less dire and serious. And, I just want to use the same words they were use on television to describe it. It should be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels sort of it's weirdly childish, and
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't
very childlike.
actually it doesn't help. You're still
No,
talking you should be able to talk about the thing you actually talk about.
right.
Um, yeah, that's very, very interesting. It sort of reminds me of I used to hear these stories about how on the Chinese internet, they would have to use code words if you wanted to talk about freedom because the government
Yeah.
would say it's not safe to let people say these
Mhm.
words. And here we are, we've sort of maybe accidentally recreated the same problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, well, I'd be curious. I mean, you've been on Substack. You launched just over a year ago. Is that right?
Mhm. Yep, just about.
Um, why did you launch a Substack, and has it gone how you hoped or expected it would go?
So not to, like, gas you up, but genuinely went a lot better than I thought it would because I had done a different type of platform that, allows you to, like, meet with your fans and do all this. It wasn't OnlyFans. It was the other one. So
It's okay
I
if it
I had
was.
done it,
I'm not judging.
the other one, and I had tried over there, and I found it to be really difficult for me because I'm not, like, a super video person, and I already make so much content that the focus of the other platform was to make, like, unique content that you would put behind a paywall that's not very on brand for me. And I also truly cannot create any more content than I physically do now. And so I sorta, like, flopped over there. Like, I was like, I don't like doing this. I don't like paywalling it or having to paywall it. It just it I didn't think it was gonna work, and then I had met, someone from Substack at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, actually. I, like, went to one of the events and started chatting with people there, and they were saying, like, "No, you don't have to paywall everything. It doesn't have to be unique stuff, but you can put, like, your scripts over there, your sources over there, even if you want. Like, why don't you just try?" And I found the user experience for me to be so much easier that I was more willing to do it. I didn't have to like learn a whole new skill. It's like now I'm trying to grow on YouTube and I have to learn like thumbnails and that's worth it because it's going to pay off in the end. But coming to Substack was super easy. And then I also was like, okay, well, now I'm going to have to try to rebuild my whole following like in another platform. This is going to suck. And it didn't because through the advice of Bailey, who was on the creator team, she was like, go live with people that you normally talk to or that are your friends. And like, that's a really good way to grow your audience and let people know you're on Substack. And we did, I think it was like a month of like a couple lives a week. And it's something like it's more than half of my audience comes from inside the Substack app, like getting recommended. So I didn't have to like hard sell myself. I had the recognizability from TikTok before. So a lot of people who like to get their news on TikTok, but also like to read more deeply were like, oh, V's over here now, subscribe over there. And it was the money part of it made a big difference too. On TikTok, there are times when you make really good money and then they'll remove that program. And on Substack, it's $7 a month, man. That's how much it costs for my channel. And I don't paywall anything. So it's like people out of the goodness of their heart being like, I want to support you. Here's your $7. I'm glad everybody gets to read it. That's no problem. And it's consistent. So once we knew that we would have consistent money, I was able to hire some people. So that's how we do the newsletter 3 times a week now. We're hoping to get to 5 times a week by the beginning of summer, because we were able to get Jed, the researcher, who does our Tuesday deep dives. And we have Lana, who does our LGBTQ exclusive content. We have folks who contribute to good news. We're going to have a climate guy coming in on Mondays, too, to just talk about climate and energy and like explainers on what folks need to know about that. And so I think those have been the benefits so far. And I could post whatever the fuck I want, like genuinely. Like even right now, intentionally just said an F word on the live. I'm not going to get a strike, right? Like that's going to be
Nobody's gonna
okay.
kill your channel or
It's
unalive
not
it.
going to kill my channel. I'm not going to get a strike. I'm not going to get downvoted. We publish some, unfortunately, incredibly difficult and graphic content on our Tuesday deep dives with Jed's investigative side. And people understand that they're opting into the Tuesday is going to be a raw and oftentimes, especially with the stuff going on with Warren Epstein, maybe a disturbing story. People get to make that decision for themselves. The algorithm and the bosses don't make the decision for them, and I'm able to speak freely. I don't have to speak in code. We can link sources, stuff like that. And I think it has helped professionalize my overall under the deskness. And it also is like a great relief to me to know, like, even if I have to play games on some of the platforms to game the FYP or the algorithm, if you follow me here, you're just getting it.
Yeah.
It's just everything flat on the table, easy to understand, no games. And I think folks really appreciate that.
You can say it on Substack.
You could say it on Substack, literally. But some stuff, maybe we don't want people to say on Substack, but you can. It's a very free speechy place. Not that there's no consequence. Like I haven't ever run into like any. I get terrible comments on YouTube that I don't know. They must not monitor those so closely, because you get a lot of slurs and bad stuff over there. Here you don't get that. So I think that people behave a little bit more um responsibly here, and I appreciate that also. I think each platform has its own core audience that you know benefits you or you learn from, and here I feel like it's like the most realistic professional space that I operate in. And then if you want my truly unhinged, then maybe go to Threads, right? Because Threads I treat like a live journal. Substack I treat like a job. Like it's different.
That's cool. Yeah,
Hmm.
this is something I wanted to ask you about. I mean, you mentioned free speech. I'm a big believer that free speech is not a partisan issue.
Hmm.
But it feels to me like if 5 or 10 years ago you were sort of worrying about platform censorship, that might have felt like a right-wing coded concern. I saw some people in the chat earlier being like, "Well,
Hmm.
there was censorship of TikTok under Biden."
Oh,
Do you
sure.
see any change in that sort of perception in left-wing spaces?
I think it's the same. I think everybody thinks that they're being shadow banned. Everybody thinks that they're being suppressed, and some people are, and some people aren't. But if you feel that way, that's going to impact the type of content you make. And I think throughout the 5 years, there's been code talk on TikTok. Throughout the 5 years, there's been videos that get suppressed, no matter who the president was. And I think that speaks a little bit more to like the sort of corporatization of these platforms. Um, so, I mean, I don't think it's gotten any better or worse necessarily, but I think people feel like it's gotten worse because now they quote like know who owns it and are applying like all of that bias onto it. I don't know that left-wing people are getting more banned than they were before. Right-wing people get more banned than they were before. I think the conversations we're having are more graphic. If you look at what's gone on really since Trump has become president, if we want to make that like some sort of mark, it's been really difficult. There has been the killing of American citizens in the streets by ICE agents. We have had the Epstein files released in this amount of time. There has been the Venezuela coup. We're looking at a war in Iran. Like, we've seen all of these different things over the last year, so people may feel like they're being more censored, but it might be that there's more content that the authorities that be and the algorithms just don't want the American people to see because they want them to remain sort of calm and complicit. And why can't you all just go back to lip syncing and dancing like you used to, in 2020?
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that's something that we can all agree on, or at least that can sort of resonate with everybody. It's like the more, the more there's important stuff to talk about in the world, the more important it is to have a channel where you can say what you believe and discuss frankly
Yeah.
the real things that are happening.
Well, and I treat Substack often like a portfolio too, right? Like I don't necessarily have time to like update my website every day with every thought that I have and every blog I've been posted in or every article I've contributed to. But if you go to the Substack, we can very easily show you and link for example, yesterday's piece, which was on some of the Epstein stuff that's going on, connecting it to Russia and connecting it to Greenland, right? So I had already written about the billionaires who tried to buy Greenland. You can embed that in the thing and it reminds people. It's like, just keeps everything really neatly together in a portfolio, the way that videos can kind of sometimes be forgotten because folks are maybe reading 2, 3, 4, 5 Substack articles in depth in a day if they're really like a super user. But if you're scrolling in the internet, I mean, you're watching me and 100 other videos. You might have forgot what we said about it, but at least over here, I could keep it very neatly organized. And I think it acts as, uh, like I said, like a portfolio more than just kind of like a sizzle reel, which is kind of the thing with video.
Very cool. Um, was there anything else you wanted to talk about or anything you wanted to ask me?
Yes. So, what did you guys do the live video that as soon as we're done with this live, for folks who have never gone live before, a little thing will pop up that says post when ready. And I always click post. It will clip like the best parts of our conversation. It will issue me a thumbnail. It will auto publish it to YouTube. That is like incredibly valuable for creator tools. What made you guys like prioritize that?
It's funny. This is something that has always been in the sort of mission of Substack is being a creator is hard, right? Whether you're a writer writing something that's great, whether you're a creator talking, whether you're a podcaster who's having a conversation with someone, it's really hard to make something great. And if you can do that, that should be enough. This has
Mhm.
always been our philosophy. Like my pitch to people is we want to do everything for you except the hard part.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
Yeah, the
You
creator.
do the
Yeah.
hard part of having something to say, and the technology should take care of all of the fiddle faddle. And so if you're a writer, you should be able to come and type into this box, and you don't have to
Hmm.
worry about how to host a website or how to send email or how to accept payments. And we started getting into podcasting and video, and I did a bit of work myself. I was like, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna go and produce a podcast. It's hard.
It's
There's a
hard
lot of work. And some
and
of it is hard
expensive.
in the sense
Yeah.
of there's important skills you have to learn in order to do it well. And some of it is hard in the sense of, and I think you don't appreciate if you haven't tried it. It's like if you're making a lot of content and every time you have to go and cut 10 clips
Yeah.
and put it in 8 different places, it's just a huge pain in the ass to do,
Yeah.
forgetting about how difficult it is. And so our North Star has always been, the human being that's making the thing is the central value. And we should let you do the thing that you're great at and have sort of maximum creative leverage. And as
Hmm.
much as possible, we should make the software handle all of the details. You shouldn't have to worry about do I need to fix up the audio so that this can be a good podcast?
Hmm.
Do I need to upload this to YouTube? Do I need to cut clips in different formats for different platforms? How do I find the right moment? How do I edit it so that it's tight? Our goal is to kind of just make all of that stuff magically work. And
Mm.
I would say within the past maybe 6 months, we've kind of there's still like a lot that we can do, and we're very excited about the roadmap, but the team's been working really hard on the clips, on the thumbnails, on the auto
Mhm.
uploading, and they're at the point where I'd say I think they're the best automated clips in the
They
industry right
are.
now.
Even when you
Um,
post your like, I'll post, like, my regular Substack post, and then you'll get the option for, like, a couple different, Instagram carousel story, and it has, like, the little link, and it has what the title is. Sometimes it has a couple quotes from it or restacking a quote. Those have been the ways that I've grown this account the most is by using those. Restacking a quote is huge for growing audience too.
that's awesome. What do you wish we had for you? What could be better?
So the only thing is the watermark on the videos does make it not perform as well on the other platforms. If there's any way to fix any of that, because they are such good clips and we do have such good conversations here. But when I post it on TikTok, as soon as they see that little flag up there, they're like, I'm not going to push this out to anybody. So sometimes it could feel
Interesting.
like I have to do
The
things twice. Like
censorship
I'll go
knows
live
no
on
bounds.
Substack and then go live on TikTok to have the exact same conversation. So it's in both places. But I know that's asking a lot, But I think keeping up with these creator tools, like making it easier, to clip your podcast and I know we already can like auto put it on the RSS feed, which is super important. I think that's going to make this space the most valuable as more and more people want to start doing this work. Even if they're not doing it to try and achieve a full-time job, they're doing it as a hobby or because it brings them joy or it helps them learn. I think that kind of stuff that you guys are doing, I super appreciate. And I know a lot of other folks who are in their citizen journalist era appreciate it too, because it makes you look professional and it makes you look like you know what you're doing a little bit and saves you some time. Oh, people are saying spell checker within the writing space would be good. Okay.
Okay.
And they want to edit their automated clips. So that's it. You're hearing from the straight from the audience. Can we edit the automated clips? Can you make that happen, please? That's what people want, Chris. Edit the automatic clips.
Got it. Yeah, I think we're planning to give you more options on those things.
Yeah. I love that. I can't think of anything else, because I don't, like filters and all that stuff. I don't need any of that business. I don't think you need to recreate the TikTok tools over here. I think this is like a more professional space. Maybe if there was a little bit more ways to find other folks and, because like I know my friends that are here, but maybe if there was sort of like a creator networking thing you could opt into to be like, hey, I'm like available to go live on these subjects or something like a LinkedIn does, where they're like, I'm an expert on these things. And then people could be like, do you want to go live at this time or something? I think that would be a cool way to do some more crossover with creators and get to know some more people here.
I love that. We'd have to do it in a less cringy way than LinkedIn. You don't want to have the like
We'd have to
open
be
to
less.
live
I'm
banner on
counting
your
on you
profile.
to come up with that. Like, how do you make it less cringe? But like, I'm an expert at these things, and you can ask me to go live or something.
I
Or a
love that.
topics section. People are saying a topics section. They want a topics section. I think,
Awesome.
like playlists. Is that what you guys mean? Like where you could stack, like, oh, I did a video and a Substack and a note on a playlist. Yeah,
Very cool.
that's what it seems like.
All right. Well, when this comes out, leave all of your feature requests in the comments. Thank you so much. This has been fantastic. Where should people subscribe?
So you can find me at Under the Desk News on all the social media platforms, and it's underthedesknews.substack.com. And like I said, this is what I use as a website now. Like we don't even use underthedesknews.com. So people yearn for MySpace. Yeah, if we could code our top 8, I think that would be great. Right now we can do recommendations. That's super helpful. I've gotten a lot of boost from people recommending my account and recommending theirs, so that's great. But I think you guys are doing a great job. And the vibes are immaculate. The team is incredible. Bailey, if I could give Bailey a shout out, like she's so helpful to creators and just a wonderful person. And I'm glad we got to chat.
Awesome. Likewise. Thank you so much. And thanks for
See
being
you
on
later,
Substack.
Chris. Thanks.
Bye.